Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, and this week's contract tip is all about sending notices with respect to a real estate contract. Now, there are many times that agents end up emailing each other back and forth with pertinent information regarding the clients, the buyer and the seller, where that information really should be sent on a notice form. So I encourage you to please take a look at the forms available to you in both the GAR contract form packages and the RE forms contract packages, and make sure to use one of the specific forms that is available to you. So let me back up just a little bit and talk to you about notice in and of itself. Notice, anytime one party is sending notice to another party with respect to the contract, is unilateral. That means it only needs one party's signature to notify the other party of something that's going on. The way I describe it in my classes is, if you think of Paul Revere back prior to the Revolutionary War, riding through the streets of Boston on his horse, ringing a bell, singing, yelling, "The British are coming, the British are coming." You think of that as Paul Revere, one man on one horse, giving notice to the citizens of Boston that the British are coming and the Revolutionary War is about to start. Now, you history buffs, please do not correct my video for historical accuracy, but that is how we were all taught in elementary school about Paul Revere notifying us, sending us notice that the British are coming. Important thing for you to remember, notice. When you think of Paul Revere, you think of one person. Notice only requires one party's signature to notify the other party. So there are a couple of times in the contract where, actually there are several times in the contract where it does specifically call for one party to send notice to the other party. Now, in the GAR contract package, there are many specific notification forms you can use. If there is not one specific notification form you can use, then you use the general notice. Same thing with the RE forms. So these are all available to you in the contents and the indices of your packages. But in GAR, for example, there is F-124, binding agreement date notification. F-132, unilateral notice to withdraw offer. F-133, notice to unilaterally extend closing date up to 8 days. F-134, I'm going to skip that one. F-135, notice. That is the general one that you use if you cannot find a specific one. There's a notice to reject the offer or counteroffer. Unilateral notice to terminate an agreement to disperse trust funds, so forth and so on. In the RE package forms package, the general notification form is RE-260, notification. Then there's also a notice to withdraw, a notice to terminate, and notice to withdraw the offer, so forth and so on. Anyway, the thing that agents really do not use properly, in my opinion, or as much as they should, they do it by email, are those general forms, the F-135 notice and the RE-260 notification. So let me give you a little example. For example, in the GAR contract, there is a provision under paragraph B where it talks about the examination of title. If, for example, the buyer has the right and the obligation to examine the title prior to closing, and if the buyer finds any objections, they need to notify the seller of the objections. And what it says is, buyer may examine title and obtain a survey of the property and furnish seller with a written statement of the title objections at or prior to closing. Those objections really should be on the notice form so that you can, it's not just agent to agent, but you can get the actual buyer or the client or customer signing the notice. Another example, we have been talking about appraisal issues in the GAR contract. So, for example, in the GAR conventional exhibit, please watch the past two previous videos on the appraisal contingency with respect to a conventional loan in the GAR contract. But with respect to that, it says, if the seller does not accept the buyer's amendment to reduce the sale price, the buyer shall have the right but not obligation to terminate to terminate this agreement without penalty upon notice to the seller. Well, you need to use that notice form to notify the seller if the buyer is going to terminate. So there's a general notification as well as the termination notice. But anyway, just take a look at that. Wanted to bring that to your attention, that rather than communicating with an email, if it does affect the clients and it really requires their signature, please use those notice forms available to you in your packages. Thank you so much for watching. Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, satisfying your needs with service, innovation, and education.